No. Okay. Much better. Good morning, guys. I have a special YouTube video today. Okay. I am literally 30 minutes away from doing a local news interview about my reborn babies. I just want to say thank you so much to my mother, Brenda Addison, for making this happen. I'm excited. So basically, this video is going to be like you guys seeing me behind the scenes of FOX4 interview that will be airing on our local station next week. Yes, yes, yes. So I am excited. Miss Nolani is on her way here to my home, and I'm excited. I am absolutely excited. Um, Hopefully, I don't tear up talking about my beautiful babies and what inspired me and, how I got started. I'm going to try my best, y'all. I'm going to try my best to hold my water bag together. Y'all know how I am. And, when I'm in my truth, sometimes that truth, really hits deep down. And when it rains, it pours. When it rains, it pours. But you guys, stay tuned. Your girl is about to be doing some big, big things.
So, starting off, um, tell me a little bit about yourself and your story to what got you into this business.
Well, my name is Ronisha Franklin, and I am 35. And during my pregnancy, it was pretty rough dealing with high risk pregnancy. By my fourth month with my daughter, I was on bed rest. By the sixth month, I was having very bad chest pain, feeling like explosions in my chest, and my husband at the time, I was telling him something was wrong. I'm having some very uncomfortable feelings. And we went to the hospital probably about 2, 3 o'clock that morning, and my blood pressure was 205. So they immediately admitted me, and in my head, and I had already told him, I'm like, I'm gonna die. So they got me a room upstairs, called my mom, and it was just a whole big scene because all I'm hearing over and over again is like, she's not gonna make it. My blood pressure just kept going up. It wouldn't go down, it kept going up. So my OBG was like, well, if we can't get it down by this afternoon, we're gonna have to do an emergency C-section. So I want to say by 9 p.m. I was getting ready to be on the table to get a C-section done as my blood pressure went up to 215. So I woke up in the ICU. I didn't know if my daughter was alive or not. I didn't even know, how I made it through. But because of the medication they had me on, I was in and out. So I was also having an allergic reaction to one of the medications. So anybody that was in the room, when I woke up, I would be like, scratch me, like, because I was itching from the medication. So by the next day, I was able to go into the NICU and meet my daughter. She was 1 pound, 9.75 she reacted, of course, to my voice and her dad's voice. So, that was like, it was like, wow, my mom, she's here. She was 3 months early. She was due September 16th, but I had her on June 6th. She made it to 18 days. She passed away on June 24th. So that was devastating, among other things that also took place that month, because I also lost my dad as well. But I don't think I had much time to really go through, the postpartum or to go through breaking down, because everything happened so fast and back to back. So basically everything hit me the next year. I went through a breakdown and hospitalized, and again, something else I had to suck up, because my ex-husband ended up with his illness, and it just kept going, after that. So up until this year, 2020, I've always loved dolls, and my mom always kept me and my sisters with dolls. So I've always been into reborn babies that a lot of people don't know about. So I ended up ordering my first two through Ashton Drake galleries, and they weren't as realistic as the ones that I've seen before. So I went on one of the other sites, which is reborn.com, and found one that was a reasonable price. And when I got him, I was like in love with him, and I was like, okay, I think I have, enough talent to, get into this and make them for myself. So that idea rolled around, and I started ordering, found the right site to order my own kits, my own paintings, the brushes, and everything that I needed. I went through multiple YouTube channels to see that it's a lot of other people that share the same thing that I share. So as I started working on my first reborn, I was like, I immediately fell in love. I was already shedding tears. I felt like he resembled my daughter. And with my daughter passing, she was cremated. So my mom actually gave me the idea to, put the ashes inside. So it was like, that is actually a good idea, instead of just sitting in the urn or, something like that. So that was something that I did with the baby. I put her ashes inside, and it's calming to me. It's very therapeutic to me. Even when I have my moments and I'm, if I'm dealing with a depression or sad, besides me praying, I grab the baby, and it's like I'm holding my daughter. The smell, the feel, even how he looks, the skin tone, everything like matches her to a T. So it's not like I'm remaking her, but it's like a comfort to me, and I know it's a lot of people that are out here that have lost, a child or a parent or a loved one. It's not many that carry the ashes, but that's something that I think would be very therapeutic for a lot of people who have been through what I've been through. So that's
beautiful.
where it started.
That's awesome. And with that, when you started creating and going with the idea of recreating, especially your child, what what were, I guess, the kind of feelings you went through did you feel like it was a healing process in a sense to be able to also be hands-on and then to see a finished product, something that you can have with you?
Oh, definitely, definitely. I don't know, it's just like me, like her being here. So even when I take him out with me, I have the car seat, you know, I can put him in the shopping cart, you know, like still being able to shop, you know, for kids clothes so that my daughter is not here. It's been 7 years, you know, that she's been gone, and you know, just going through my body changes that I deal with and high risk, you know, it's like, okay, well, this is something that, you know, I can do. I can put my focus into, you know, not just taking my focus off of sadness, but I can also bring happiness to other people. You know, just kind of helping them, you know, through the same things that I'm going through. So it just, I mean, it helps.
Yeah.
It helps.
And you actually have sold one of your, and what do you, do you call them dolls and consider them dolls, or do you call them babies?
I call them babies.
Okay.
So everybody's like, you have some people who don't understand
Yeah.
because they have kids or they don't have a problem with conceiving and, you know, delivering. So some people look at you like, why are you carrying a doll around? And I'm like, okay, first of all, it's a doll to you, but it's a baby to me. And also it's with my daughter inside, so that's why I'm carrying it around. But it's also like, sometimes you get hit with that question. It could be at the wrong time, and it's like, I'm not even gonna waste my time answering that. But other times it's like, if you have a child you lost, or, you know, you have a grandparent, you know, that's in a home or something, that would be actually perfect for them. You know, it's helpful. And some people have even said where it helps elderly with dementia, that, you know, the babies are actually helpful to them, kind of bringing back memories and stuff like that. So, you know, when I kind of have that time to explain it to them, they're like, oh, that's perfect, you know. So it's like, okay, so.
Yeah. It's almost like it's like a ignorance is bliss type thing, like.
Correct.
Which is why I was like, this is a question that needs to be asked. Because I'm not, especially if I'm writing the story, you know, if you're making these babies, I mean, I'm sure you don't like to hear people refer to them as dolls, because it seems not as, I don't know, not as much like everything that you put into making them special.
And it's like an insult almost, because you can actually look at a baby doll and tell that it's a baby doll, and you have to take a second glance to realize, wait, you know, is that, and I've had people, you know, is that a real baby? Yes. Like, or I have people that have came to me and like, oh my God, how old is he? You know, I don't even correct them until they, you know, want to zoom in, and then they're like, wait, is he real? You know, and it's like, to me, but no, he's a reborn. You know, where the futures of a real baby is where he was sculpted from. So I kind of have to, you know, go back to the explaining again. So
yeah. Well, it sounds like the way you respond to is a really great way of responding to it. It's a very graceful way of doing it too, I feel like, because that's all you really need to say is, to me, you know, it's like, period. You know, it's like, that says everything. You know, it's like, you know, I don't need your opinions, because I feel like these babies are, I mean, they're not crafted for just anybody. They're crafted special for certain mothers. And I'm sure it could even be more than mothers if someone were to be going through the same kind of experience. I mean, if they're feeling that, but with mothers, it's a lot different. And so, you know, you're kind of explaining how you felt creating your baby and finishing it and having it with you. What was it like in comparison then to see the first person kind of buy one of your babies and to see it help them?
That was exciting. It was one of my customers who here I've been doing since she was a little girl, and she was like, "Wait, you make reborns?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She was like, "Oh my God, I've always wanted one of those." And she was like, "Can you make me one?" And I'm like, "Sure. Just fill out the form on my website. You can pick your hair color, eye color, if you wanted open eyes or closed eyes. If you wanted to have like freckles or birth scar." So, she gave me all of her details of her baby, and I was able to accomplish it. And she was like, "Oh my God," she's like, I love it." So she carries them around, and people always ask her like, "Is that a real baby that you're holding? Like, who did that baby? Like, she did incredible." And I always tell people like, I'm not perfect at it, but I actually just started in May of 2020. So, to get those type of results already, and I just started, this year, like, I amaze myself because I never thought that I would get that type of reaction for something that I just started. But anything that I sit down and put my mind to, I'm able to do it, and I'm not a quitter. So just being able to, mix my own paints, putting certain things together and bringing it to life, just seeing other people, how long it took for them to start reborning, and then to actually perfect it and everything, like, it was exciting to me to be able to do it within this short time period. So to see her reaction, I literally cried because her grandmother sent me a video of her opening it, and I shipped it. They're from Indiana, and I shipped her the box, and I'm like, "Make sure you take pictures or record it." And she was recording it, and just seeing how excited she was, and I was like, I just started crying because I was like, this is what I love to do. I love to bring happiness, to other people. Just to see her reaction when she got it, I was like, I did it. I did it.
That's
So
fun.
that's
Hey, that's awesome. And I feel like another thing with this is it opens people's eyes to something that's much bigger that maybe isn't even talked about enough when it comes to losing a child, because I feel like it happens very often to a lot of women. And it's almost, for a lot of women, it feels like a deep, dark secret. Like, it's something that they carry with them, and, you could probably go your whole life and never even know your very best friend was carrying that with them. It's something that you kind of have to cope with and choose on your own to share with people, because it's so hard to deal with. And so I guess with these babies, is that something also that you wish maybe more people talked about, is that it's not taking kind of that weight off of women, and that feeling that causes that depression and causes them wanting to burrow inside and not, to help them express themselves and get that out so that they don't feel that way. I feel like these babies definitely help. And so is there like a type of, is there something that you wish were more people talked about, or a misconception that you think people have when it comes to either losing a child or knowing someone who loses a child and knowing what they go through?
Yes, I personally, with me experiencing like someone coming up to me asking me, the questions of, "Oh, why are you carrying a doll around?" It's more like, be more open-minded. You don't know what a person's situation is where you just immediately judge from what you see. It's not like, "Oh my gosh, she's crazy, she's an adult, she's still carrying a doll around." Like, if you're gonna approach someone, be able to understand approach someone on asking them, okay, well, why is this, or, you know, is that a real baby and why do you carry it around, or, you know, I just feel like if the world period was more open-minded on things that are going on, and it's not like it's a negative thing, you know, it's not hurting anyone, it's not, you know, bringing any negativity to anybody's life, it's more positive than anything. And I think it would be helpful because I've been through, you know, miscarriage besides my daughter, and, you know, just not being able to go through carrying your own child or going through losing a child. It's, you never know like how it really changes a person, and a lot has changed for me, you know. So just becoming a reborn artist is kind of like something I would say that has helped me to accept what I can't change, and just see that I can be helpful to other people. You know, I open up and I talk about a lot of things, and, you know, losing my daughter, like, I get questions all the time, like, do you have kids? You know, it stings, you know, but I am to the point where I can talk about it, is, you know, not shed tears and break down, but I always tell them, like, I had a daughter, you know, she passed, but I now, you know, I carry her with me. And then, you know, I'm able to show them my baby, and they're like, wow, like, that's awesome, because I literally thought that was a real baby. So we shouldn't have to walk around, you know, with a sign on us, or, you know, a memo of saying, hey, this is why, you know, I'm carrying around a doll. You know, it's, this is why, you know, you see me with a doll, you know, instead of a baby. Everybody can't conceive. You know, you have even celebrities, you know, that can't conceive. It's, I mean, it's a lot of people that go through it, but it's the point of nobody really wants to open up and talk about it because they don't want to be judged. So I'm a person that is open-minded. I share my life from my Facebook to my YouTube, you know, and it helps other people. So as I just feel like, you know, if I'm able to help other people and be positive about my negative and my pain that I went through, I don't mind doing that. So this is helpful to me as well.
That's awesome. And then also, you know, if there is there a message or something that, if someone with these mothers who end up purchasing their babies, is there a message, something that you hope that they gain and that they see? If there's a message to mothers out there who know the feeling, who've gone through what you have gone through, what you would like them to know when it comes to purchasing your baby, and or even before even that, and going through what they went through? Is there something that mothers should know more, and even mothers who are maybe even currently going through it right now?
Don't give up. Don't lose hope. We all, like I said, can't go through the conceiving stages and not go through a miscarriage or pregnancy issues or risking our lives. It is another alternative. I've always been, you know, suggested to adoption. You know, I am a godmother as well, but it isn't the same as having your own. And I just feel like even with my reborn, I have my own. You know, I can take them out, spend time with them, take them shopping with me, go shopping, you know, for him. So you will still have that same feeling that you would have if you were having your own. And the good thing about it is they don't cry. You don't have to go broke spending money on diapers and formula, but they sleep at night. So I mean, it's a good thing. It's all the pros about the situation. I don't know, just sometimes when I'm in a sad mode, I just, I can look at him and just be like, I'm still a proud mom. I may not have had him, but I made him. Or even with my first reborn that I purchased, it's like, it's mine. Just having, and I think that's with everybody, when you get your first car, your first house, or anything for the first time, it's like, I got it, it's mine. I worked for it, I did this for it, so, just, I don't know, just looking at them and holding them, it doesn't replace a real child, but at the same time, it's kind of filling in that gap. So, I mean, if that's helpful, go for it.
That's awesome. And I was thinking, if I scoot my chair to the opposite side, could you still get us in frame? Because I want you to kind of pull out. Imari. Okay, Imari, and then you kind of said, he kind of feels real, and then you can like hand him over to me like before, and you can say like, what are your thoughts? And then I can say, he feels like it. So like you also get my reaction to the fact that he really does feel like a baby.
Okay.
So you can stay right there. I'm gonna do this on the other side. By the way, your answers were great, and your story is amazing. I know it's gonna help a lot of women out there, because I'm sure there's just so many women that don't even. There's so much statistics and so many numbers out there of women that are suffering, and that can't even be all of them, because women are pros at keeping stuff locked up.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? The stuff. If you get us mad now, that's a whole different story. But for something that's so personal, when it comes to personal things that really truly hurt, women, man, we are like evolved.
Oh, yeah.
I just know that there's probably women out there who don't talk about it, and that people don't even know about it.
Correct.
It's one of those things that people wouldn't know
unless the story gets
you
out.
were told, yeah. And there's women, I'm sure, that out there that not even their family knows. It's one of those things that it's so personal to you that you were the only one that has the choice to share with people.
Correct.
And so it's just like, I know people who've gone through similar things, and it kills me. I mean, it makes me literally so sad, because you have to be, I can't even imagine, you'd have to be Herculean strength to.
Not like my coworkers, they were like, I don't know how you dealt with that, you almost live your life, and coming out of ICU to losing my dad to 2 weeks before my daughter, so they were like, I'd probably be on drugs or strengthen somewhere. I'm like, what is that gonna solve?
Yeah, it's
so.
true. It's true. Oh man, you tiny Superwoman over here. Because I'm definitely the type of person that first thing I go straight to feeling down about myself. I'm over here licking my wounds, and then I'm the type of person that like I have to go through the stages, all the stages. I can't just like be strong about it. So I have to first feel bad about it, harp on it, think about it, and then eventually, whenever it comes around, I like snap back and I'm like, this isn't you. What are we doing here? What are we doing, girl? What are we doing? This ain't us. I'm like that girl who talks in the mirror like, this is not you.
Right.
Get up, get out of the house.
That's
I don't know what you want to do. You broke, but still take a walk. get some air.
Yes.
Like, and bathe, woman. Like, it's just so like. But I'm always like, my husband's like, you're such a baby. Like, you just still have to be like, you have to lick your wounds, but you always come around. When you come around, like, I just gotta step out of the way. Because I know, like, when you come out and you have your mindset, it's like.
And we're on our own time. Like, we have our time.
Yes.
Mother
it was that important to him.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
I had a lady approach me in Publix and like I don't know if she was mad or what, but she was like, why are you carrying around a doll? And I was like,
people are just so.
ooh, did I offend you? Whoa, like, she just caught me off guard because I was pushing, and he wasn't even really showing. It was just like, you know, so I don't know if she was just watching me the whole time to see if he moved or cried. Why are you carrying around? Ooh.
Yeah, they get a little, oh, that's
Yeah.
creepy.
What up?
I hate to hear the word creepy.
And Halloween, we did the little Halloween trunk or treat with what's the thing?
We were out the Spectrum. Children's Gym.
Out.
They had an event.
And we were out there, and my mom had her dressed up in her Halloween. He was a little turtle, and they're like, oh my God, she looks creepy. Like,
What? No.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay. They were wondering if he was real or not, but they was like, oh my God. I was like, even the grown men, they're like, yeah, that's creepy. I gotta go. Like, you're creepy, but okay.
They don't understand. They don't understand until she told them the reason she do them, and then they were almost in tears, you know.
Yeah, and
So-
it's just people. You know, these days they just talk so freely, they don't even think about it, and it's
True.
like you have to have so much like forgiveness and patience for people, and it is. I know it's hard. It's because I am in the field that gets some of the best people. And that's actually some of the best people, yes, but also sarcastically some of like the worst people. And you're just like I am the type of person that I know I do news, but if you don't know what you're talking about and you are talking some nonsense and you just talking to talk, I'm not putting you on the news. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm gonna let you keep talking.
There you go.
I'm gonna let you have your second, but you ain't getting on the news. we are not, that is no service to people, okay? You are just tearing people down because you want to be heard, and that's okay, because honestly, I feel like some people need to be heard, and they want to be listened to, and whatever it does to help you, that's great. I feel good doing that, but you're not going on the news. It's like, but people just, they blow my mind, man.
And don't know how to be positive and have an open mind. Just like you don't just approach somebody and don't know their story, you know. So that's always my thing. Is like stop judging right away. Open the book and read it first.
And it doesn't help also that women don't, it's not something that people even talk about. So, because it's not out there as much, and it's such a personal thing that women deal with, that's not on the open, it's like, they don't even know enough to be educated to know that hey, these are babies, don't call my babies dolls. That's not cool. You know, it's like, I'm the type of person that I can take a lot of crap from people, but I can't stand people giving crap to someone else. I'm that person. So I'm just like, I'll take it, but second you come for one of my loved ones, I'm like, oh, no. I'm like, see, that's pretty messed up. It's just like, you should have came for me.
Right, exactly.
I am the person you want to come for. But we good? Cool. Okay, so I'm going to ask you, tell me who you have here. And this is your first one, right?
Yes. And this is little Imari Young, and he is 17 inches, and he's almost 5 pounds. And I love him sweet, because I have to put the blanket over the eyes of the ones that are open.
I do have a question though. Did you go in with a bit, since he was your first baby, did you go in and it's a boy, did you go in with a vision of, or did you just start doing it and then really?
I just started, I didn't even think anything of, about my daughter. I just went in and I mixed colors, and I'm like, okay, I'm liking how it's coming out. And even when I was pregnant with my daughter, I was like, give me a boy. I wanted a boy first, and she was a girl. So by me being able to make them, I was like, okay, well, at least I can make myself a son.
Yeah.
So that's what I did with little Imari, and her fingers and everything.
I
were
know,
just
that
like-
detail is just,
Oh yes.
the hands and feet
Yes.
from the photos that you sent me, I was like, oh, because you know, like, baby hands and feet, that's like one of the best parts.
Yes, the cutest. So I make sure. Let me see. I make sure that I let people see the details of the work when it comes to their little legs and feet.
Oh my
So he has his
goodness.
little veins on his thighs and his little
Yes.
bottom of
Oh
his
my
feet.
goodness.
Yes. The little
So
toes and
cute.
everything.
Oh my goodness.
So I make like, I wasn't really sure how it was gonna come out, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep working until I get it to where it's good enough for me. So, you know, before I even started thinking like, maybe I can start making them for other people, you know, I just wanted to make sure I got one down for myself. And first thing my mom and my sister says is, you can't keep them.
Oh my gosh.
Because every kid I've seen, I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh. So I was just looking at the kids and falling in love, and I'm like, they're like, okay, when you make one, you keep one. Well, alrighty then. So when I made Mari, I was like, that's it for me. That is, I mean, his weight and everything, how he feels, how he smells,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, hold his head and everything.
I'm not an expert with babies, and I do feel like, wow, like this is, it feels exactly like,
Okay.
how do I,
Just hold, yep,
cradle, oh, no,
pull the arm out like that
like
on the
this.
other side of his head.
See,
There
you got
you
me,
go.
is this right?
There you go.
Okay,
Yep.
oh, look at, see,
And the
I was just,
smell, oh my god, if you
Nice
can smell
baby
them,
smell.
yes.
hey,
Yes, ma'am.
Mari.
And I mean, when I actually do let people hold him, they be like, oh my god, he has the weight and everything of the baby. Yeah, that's why I call him my baby.
Even the eyelashes.
Oh yes. So I put the lashes in, I do the eyebrows, I
Really?
put each piece of the hair in. So it does it's time consuming, but it's something that keeps my mind, you know, clear. It brings me happiness just to be in that creative mode of them.
Wow.
So the hands and the feet are my like.
Yeah, I think they're my favorite too.
Yes.
Well, I think it's beautiful too that you made him. You made him.
Yes.
And I think that's super beautiful.
And when I tell people that, they be like, wait, what? I say, I made him. And they're thinking like, oh, I made him. Like, really? Oh my gosh. So it's exciting just to see people reactions because for people who don't know about the reborn world, and it's a lot of people through YouTube that knows about them.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's another thing where it's like, I made him. That's all you need to know.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
That's why I thought it was beautiful. I think it's beautiful because, you know, mothers make babies.
Right.
And you made yours. You know, Amari is reborn, but you made him.
Yes.
My goodness. So beautiful. Okay. You know, if you could cry, you'd probably be doing it right. Okay. Mama. Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, so with his hair it might be all up over the place, but even with his hair, I put all of these pieces in.
What? Well, when you said you put the eyelashes in, I was like, girl, you put extensions?
Nope. It's a needle that you use and you stitching in every piece of hair on the head.
How long does that take?
Depending on if you want a full head of hair or you just want like really thin hair, it could take a day.
Just the hair?
Yeah.
Wow.
So just depending on if you want to give it like a full head of hair, like with hers, Aria's,
precious.
Oh, yes.
Oh, look at those little ringlets. Oh my
So
goodness.
she has rooted eyebrows and her lashes are rooted as well.
I'm loving her lashes.
Oh yes.
It puts a whole new meaning of when you're saying, your mom blessed you with some great eyelashes. She did.
So she was my surprise to my mom.
Oh,
You know, so I did a video of surprising my mom with her first box opening. She was like, okay, I want a baby. I don't want a small baby. I want a big baby with curly hair and thick thighs, and you know. So I'm like,
yes.
okay, I found the perfect kid. I got the hair, you know, her eyes. When I saw her, I was like, she is
So
amazing. And
Wow.
her little hands and feet, and with her, you know, you can get different size babies. So you can be able to, you know, as far as like shopping for them and doing the same thing you would do for a real baby. You know, you're able to go and shop for them.
Wow,
And
because
get
they're
them-
the same size.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Wow.
Even with their little jellies. I got those from Old Navy.
Oh, baby shoes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, feet and hands, they're just,
Ah.
they'll be putting it in their mouths all day too. And I'm like, don't do that. Okay? I don't care. Actually, I don't care. Just, so cute. So I think next we can move over to this station, and I'm just going to get you to explain, you know, these are the tools I use to create. So we'll start with saying, like, how long does it take to, on average, has it taken you to make these babies? And how many have you made, and what is the process? I think it's the fact that you put each one of those hairs in individually. I came out with a full head of hair. I mean, just it was everywhere. I'm like, that's not how I did not pop out looking like this. Everyone was like, yeah, girl, you've always had a thick hair,
Hers
thick
too.
skull. Yeah, mine.
You see my daughter's, hers was
Mhm.
straight like her dad's, but I came out with a head full of curly hair.
Mhm.
Yeah, so how she got her hand holding it with her legs bent. When I say I looked at
Mhm.
this kid and I was like, I just broke down in tears, but it just seemed like I was looking at her all over again. I'm like, his legs is bent, you know, just like hers. The way he's holding his toes, she used to hold her toes the same way. How she got her hand up, his hand is the same way. I was like, wow.
Can we get a video of your shirt too?
Sure.
I love that you wore it, and it says Grandma's Princess.
Oh,
That's
yes.
so cute. Oh my god. All right, Amari. I said your mom was the main character, but I think you stole that spot. I think you stole that spot. So cute.
And she was my first maternal grandchild. My first maternal grandchild.
Wow,